Hello everyone, Tina Spalding Trance Channel here. Happy New Year. I know it's a little bit late. I took a little bit of a break over the holidays and took a little holiday at the beginning of January. So there's been not much happening in my world for as far as channeling goes. But I wanted to come on today and get Jesus to do his version of what's going to happen in 2022. We know that they don't generally do specific predictions, but let's see what he has to say. Also, I'd like to let you know that there are several events coming up that you may be interested in participating in. We have our monthly public Q&A session coming up, not tomorrow, which is Sunday, the 16th, but next week. So that, let me just have a look at my calendar here. That is Sunday the 23rd. You can click on the link in the description box below, and that will take you to our sign-up page where you can see our other events. We have two in-person events in February. One is in Sedona and one is in San Antonio. These can be attended in person, and we have spaces for in both retreats at this time. We also are live streaming those events, so you can sign up for the event and participate in it in real time. And we do have a special on because we're having two retreats close together. We're doing a 2-for-1 special. A discounted special. You get the live stream and the recording at a discounted price if you sign up for both of them. So it's not 2-for-1, it's 25% off. So you get half off the second live stream event. Those are all detailed in the page that the link below will take you to. So please consider that. And our event next weekend is the 1-hour Q&A, and for non-members that's $22. So I think that's all that I have to say about what's happening in February and January. Okay, let's see what Jesus has to say to us about 2022. I'm very curious. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. You are in an escalating energy tunnel, let us say. You can all feel it. You can feel that there is another wave of fear going around the planet. You can feel that there is another wave of restriction being attempted. What we want you to understand as Course in Miracles students, or considering being Course in Miracles students, is that your world is created by your inner world. Your outer experience is created by your inner experience. And when you are faced with the kind of machinations that you are faced with at this time, coming at you from outside, information bombarding you from outside, it is very, very difficult for you to remember this. There are so many moving parts outside that you are distracted. You are being told to look over here. You are being told to fear this. You are being told to do that. Very few of you are going inside to get guidance. This is your salvation. This is the only place that you can go for real guidance. But we have told you, of course, for many years now, we have told you that there must be a clarification process first. Otherwise, you are confused by your conditioning programs. You have two sources of information coming in to your interior world. You have the conditioned beliefs and ideas that you have been raised with and have lived with on this planet for so long. These are the ideas that you have about buying things and what a Mercedes-Benz is and whether or not you should take particular medicines, these kinds of things. You have been deeply, deeply indoctrinated by systems that have an agenda for your behavior. You also have your spiritual guidance, your guides and teachers, your blueprints speaking to you and through you. Your blueprint is are the lessons and assignments that you have given yourself in this incarnation. Now, the assignments that you have given yourself in this incarnation include waking up from a deep, deep sleep. You have all got this in your blueprint. All of you have this in your blueprint in this incarnation, that you are going to wake up from a deep, deep sleep. That is what's going to happen this year. That is what 2022 is going to bring to many, many of you on this planet. You are going to realize that for quite some time, you have been lied to and you have been manipulated and you have been scammed. Now, this is going to be unpleasant for many. Those of you watching this are most likely partly awake. You are partly awake to this idea. Otherwise, you wouldn't be watching a Channeling Jesus video. You'd be watching the hockey game or the football game or the Bachelorette. You would not be watching this. So we know that you are a somewhat sophisticated audience. However, even those of you that are somewhat sophisticated, somewhat awake, are not awake to the true depth of the deceptions that have been playing out on your planet. But in 2022, you will get an idea of the depth of the deceptions that have been playing out on your planet. And it is going to be a tough awakening for many. Even those of you that consider yourself mostly awake, you really don't have an idea of how deeply deceived you have been. So 2022 is going to be a challenging year for all of you. It's going to be a challenging year because the powers that are bombarding you with information do not want to stop doing that. They have seen that they have achieved, we would say, a moderate success in the last 2 years of deepening the deception. And so they want to keep going. They want to keep going as well because they know that once the deception is truly revealed, they are going to be in trouble. There's going to be a lot of anger focused at them. There's going to be a lot of upset people who realize that perhaps their children didn't need to die of cancer or they didn't need to die of war. All of these deep deceptions that your society has been subjected to because of your lack of understanding of how creation works and how your minds work. We repeat ourselves constantly. Course in Miracles is a mind training program to help you reclaim your mind and bring it back into a healthy focus. For those of you that have not yet done A Course in Miracles, we ask you to do it this year because it is going to help you come to terms with some of the revelations that are going to be coming your way. If your mind is still deeply conditioned, if you have not reprogrammed it into a more loving frequency, then you are going to be dragged down by the evidence that your eyes see. Because you will be untrained. You will believe what your eyes see, and you will believe what your ears hear. And you must remember that there is somebody feeding you that information. When you have trained your mind and you have done it intentionally and with love, what you will come to understand is that there is another level of guidance, a deeper level of guidance that is telling you something different than what your eyes see and what your ears hear. And the difference between those two messages is going to be the frequency. The frequency of your interior dialogue with Source, your interior dialogue with your guides and teachers is going to be a loving dialogue. And what that dialogue is going to give you is an opportunity to look at the world differently. If you look at the world with your physical eyes and your physical ears and you believe everything that you're seeing as it is presented to you, you will be most likely to fall into deep depression or sadness. You will begin to suffer. Why? Because you are looking at unloving things, untrue ideas, and believing them to be true. You will believe that God has abandoned you. You will believe that this world is evil. You will believe that there is no hope for humanity. And that is exactly what your custodians want you to believe, because in that place, you are powerless and you will say yes to things that you really don't want to have happen. You really don't want to have happen to you that which you would agree to in moments of desperation. Moments of desperation are when people commit suicide. And when people commit suicide and they get to the other side, they really regret what they have done because they have killed the body when in fact the mind was the problem. So these are the kinds of things that you might be susceptible to if you have not got a trained mind. Now, the way things are working right now, in terms of energies coming to the planet, you are highly teachable at this time. The light rays and the information and the education that is flowing very, very quickly to this planet right now can assist you in transforming very, very quickly. But this is the year to do it. Don't procrastinate anymore. Those of you that have been doing the course for a long time are already feeling the benefits of having ownership over your own mind. You have not fallen for the scams that are coming through your screens. You have not fallen for the scams that are coming through your screens because you have some wisdom. You have been taught some wise things. You are not listening to the news for your information. You may be researching other places. You may be listening to other news sources that you know are not compromised, like the mainstream news sources are compromised. And they have a very, very specific agenda for you, and it is to take you down. It is to take you down, literally and physically. It is to take you down. And that is what is coming to light now, and that is what is going to come to light very, very clearly in 2022. So our predictions for 2022 are this. If you have mastery over your own mind and you are inputting wisdom and truth, you will be fine. You may see some scenes that you don't like. You may hear some stories that are a little bit frightening, but you will not be taken down by them. You will have a connection to a power source that is higher. A power source that is more loving, a power source that has your best interests at heart. If you do not have control over your own mind, if you cannot discern through listening to your guidance system when you are being led down the garden path, of course, if you're led down the garden path, you don't know you're being led down the garden path, then you will have a difficult year. You will believe the things that your eyes and your ears are telling you, and they will be overwhelmingly sad. Now, what we want you to understand is that this lesson that you are all having on the earth plane at this time is necessary. It is necessary to wake up. It is necessary for your society at the stage of development that it is in to come to understand the crooked leaders that you have and how deceiving they are truly. If not, your society may not survive in the form that it is in because there is so much power now in the technology being used to deceive you. So you must turn off your televisions. You must refuse to watch the shows that are pumping you full of fear. Watch, if you have to watch anything, watch shows that are giving you true scientific data, supported by papers, supported by doctors who are, we will say, telling the truth. You know they're telling the truth because they are forbidden. You know they are telling the truth because they are censored. You know that they are telling the truth because they are being threatened. There is only one side of the story allowed in the mainstream, and that is your clue as to what and where you should be looking. But for all of you, it is a time for mind mastery. And it is doing A Course in Miracles that will help you the most, because it is created by a loving consciousness to assist humanity in these times. That is what A Course in Miracles was for. It is a timeless document that brings forth timeless laws and timeless information, but it was released into your world for this time because we could see very, very clearly where your society was going and how it would end if no help was given. There are many, many teachers teaching the same thing. There are many, many teachers teaching the same thing. They may use different words, but it is of utmost importance right now for you to understand what your feelings mean, what fear feels like, what you honestly know to be true in your hearts and minds when you are not watching television. Turn your televisions off now. Don't let your children watch television. If you are letting your children watch anything, make sure that you watch it through thoroughly first and allow no violence or manipulation to be in those stories. It's very, very difficult, we understand. Many of you have become habituated to the messages coming from those screens. But we want to emphasize how important it is right now for you not to be further contaminated and for you to begin the healing process. We do not despair for humanity. You are eternal beings. You were before this body and you will be after this body has finished its journey here. But what we want you to know is that this is a very, very important season for your society. And you must wake up. You must wake up to your power and your creative abilities. You must wake up to how to interpret your guidance system so you know when you're off track. And you must retrain your mind so that you are the master of your mind rather than MSNBC or any of these other television stations. You must be the master of your mind. You must be the interpreter of your guidance system so that you may make correct decisions. Many, many people have made very, very poor decisions in the last 18 months. And they are going to have to reap the harvest of those poor decisions. We do not want you to despair for anybody, for everybody is learning something. We want you to learn very, very quickly now. So please start A Course in Miracles, reinvigorate your Course in Miracles practice if it has fallen by the wayside, and turn off your televisions. Educate yourselves properly and deeply with sound scientific information, sound spiritual information and teachings. We have a plethora of books that this being has penned for this time. Each of the books that she has penned was brought forth for this time so that you would not need to go online, so that you would have a hard copy of wisdom, a hard copy of loving mentorship in your hands, whether or not the internet was on, whether or not your televisions were on. So if you have not read our dear one's books, please do so. They are brought through with love, for love, to teach you what you need for these times. We want you to be enthusiastic about this year, but in that sense, we want you to be enthusiastic about your spiritual practice. Now is the year. Do not procrastinate anymore. You will need it. You will need it. You will need it. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I will speak to you again soon. Okie dokie. Thank you for joining me for this. And once again, please check out the offerings that we have. Click the link below and you can see the events, the live streamings, and the recordings that you will be able to purchase. These are going to be uncensored and they will be going in a deep dive into these times, into the astrology of these times, into the spiritual meaning of these times. So if you need some more information and you don't like the censored stuff that is here on YouTube, you might want to consider signing up for some of those events. I'll see you soon. Bye.